What is going on, Nuggets Nation and NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back to another episode of Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arts. We do have some topics to cover. Obviously, today for you guys, like I said, I want to continue getting content out and some things I got to talk about here. The first thing is the sort of backpacking off what I talked about either last episode or a couple episodes ago, and that is that the Knicks brought in Malcolm Brogdon on a one-year deal, which means that there is uncertainty for Tyler Kolek's future. And you look at not only the Brogdon move, but there's another move for a point guard back in New York, and that is Landry Shamet. So there's a lot of ball handlers off the bench. You have Jordan Clarkson there now. You have Brogdon there. You have Shamet there. Deuce might not be a primary ball handler, but he's also off the bench. So you're very heavy at guard. So it may seem that Tyler Kolek is going to be moved by the New York Knicks. Now, I think that it's an intriguing move for Denver. I think that Jalen Pickett is a guy who's going on to his third year in Denver, and he hasn't proven much. And I sort of got into like a little bickering debate with somebody in the Nuggets chat today, and we were sort of just talking about how Jalen Pickett he believed that he's going to make an impact. I really don't think. I don't think that the third string point guard is going to make an impact for the Denver Nuggets. I think that it's going to come down more for Denver to look to make a move or bring in another vet. And I think that, I don't know, I'm sort of intrigued by Tyler Kolek. I think that a trade would be a second-round pick and maybe some cash consideration or a contract to throw on top of that, which would have to be probably a guy like Strother, which I wouldn't want to do, or a guy like Pickett, maybe Hunter Tyson. But if you're able to get him for just cash considerations and you're able to get him and a second-round pick on top of that, I'm completely fine with that move. Listen, if he doesn't fully work out, then he doesn't fully work out. But I'm not going to be super devastated if you give up a second rounder and it ends up being something that doesn't work for Denver. If the opportunity is given or presented, I would say just take it, because I think that it's somebody who Denver could benefit from if he is actually good. I think, like I said, I think the addition of Brogdon, and then with the third string of whether that be Deuce or Clarkson or Shamet at the backup one, leaves you with no other options but to either store him and on the bench and hope for the best, or to trade him. And if Denver's able to get him at a cheap price and the opportunity is presented, I would not be mad at Denver for going out and getting a guy like Kolek if Pickett's not able to prove himself within the first couple weeks, realistically, of being on the Denver Nuggets roster. If he can't be a beneficial factor to the Denver Nuggets, and I don't understand the fact, I don't understand him being on the roster. I don't understand the significance of him on the roster. Same goes for Hunter Tyson at this point. But like I said, if the opportunity is presented, I would take it on and see what Denver would be able to do with a guy like Tyler Kolek. Now, this next thing I want to talk about is sort of just NBA based. I saw a post about the Denver Nuggets and how much it costs to watch all their games this year with streaming services involved. And I believe it was upwards of $1,000, which to me it's wild. And then, it was brought up to Adam Silver, and Adam Silver sort of said something along the lines of, if people want to watch the games, they could watch the highlights afterwards. I just think that's terrible. I think it's terrible to say, as somebody who's loved basketball their entire lives, somebody who I dedicate majority of my time to basketball. I coach high school, played in high school, played on a club team in college. I continue to do this podcast just because I want to be involved in basketball. It's something that I take very, very serious in life, just because I love it. It's one of my favorite sports, if not my favorite sport of all time. And for somebody who is presenting or representing an entire company, an entire organization, something that people have loved their entire lives, to say, well, yeah, go ahead and watch the highlights after the game, and then you wonder why you're losing viewership. I just think it was a terrible take. I think that it was something that sort of, I want to say pissed me off to a certain extent, because, like I said, I love this. I love watching the Nuggets. I've been a Nuggets fan my entire life. It's something I love doing. I love going again after a long day of work, getting home, sit on the couch, having dinner, watching a Nuggets game. Or if I'm at work, I'm working at night and the Nuggets are on, sitting down and taking up some time in my day to watch the Nuggets game, because it brings me joy and it brings me happiness. And to say, well, you go ahead and watch the highlights after, I think as a commissioner, that is a terrible. It really is. It's a terrible take. And like I said, it pissed me off a little bit, but I want to move on to some other things here for the Denver Nuggets. That was just something that I think I had to bring up as a basketball fan, because I'm sure a majority of people that are basketball fans feel the same. But Aaron Gordon is a guy who I've continued to cover this entire offseason, and somebody who I'm super high on. Like I said, I think that he could be the Nuggets' first all-star teammate next to Jokic. And his exact quotes were, "I feel like I'm the best I've ever been in basketball, and I feel like we're going to see another championship." I don't know. I'm so excited to watch Aaron Gordon for another season on this Nuggets team. I've continued to say this is the best Nuggets team I've ever seen. I continue to go ahead and research this offseason and bring out, get a video together every day for you guys covering how good this offseason has been, how good this management has put this roster together, how much work this roster has been putting in, even though I'm not there to see it, just constantly studying it. And I'm right there with AG. I think that this roster is the best. I think that, like I've continued to say the last couple episodes, this chemistry is higher than it's ever been. It just seems that everybody's more motivated. Maybe it's the new faces that are coming in and a different kind of motivation they're bringing, or maybe it's just how these guys are dealing with each other and the new presence. But I am so excited to watch this Nuggets team, and I really do. I think that this is going to be a team that's going to bring another championship to the city of Denver. I do. I don't think that, there's no doubt in my mind that if this team is together for 1, maybe 2 years, I know their contracts, are going to have to be, worked out, negotiated. But if this Denver team can be together for a year or two, I think that there's nothing but high hopes for this organizational team. So, or for this organization and this team. The last thing I want to get into here is just something that I thought was a little bit of a cool topic to bring up. And I do want your guys' opinion. So I saw a post on X the other day, and it was from Sleeper Nuggets saying that the Nuggets Mount Rushmore consists of Nikola Jokic, Carmelo Anthony, Alex English, and who is the fourth? So I saw a lot of takes in this chain, some being Dikembe Mutombo, some being David Thompson. Obviously you get the super fans out there of guys like Danilo Gallinari, Andre Iguodala, and I don't know. I'm a little stuck. I want to say like Jamal Murray deserves to be on there, but listen, you got guys like David Thompson, who I wasn't alive to see. But if I had to say it was one player from my lifetime, I think I would have to go with Andre Iguodala. He was my favorite player of all time. Pre-Nuggets, post-Nuggets. It sucks seeing him win a championship with the Warriors, a couple championships with the Warriors, but I would say if it's my lifetime, mind you, I'm 25, so from 2000, I want to say what I remember basketball-wise from 2010, 11 to now. I know there's names like, guys like Nene were there. I know there were guys like JR, AI. I know his AI stint with the Nuggets wasn't too long. But I think I would have to say my personal opinion, the fourth face I'd put up there would be Andre Iguodala. Let me know what your last person on that Nuggets Mount Rushmore would be down below in the comments. But that's all I got for you guys this episode. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know who your fourth face on that Mount Rushmore is, and I'll catch you guys next episode.